This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review. Write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it. And tell everybody you know about it. And then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world. Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. Award-winning singer. Best-selling author. And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hey, it's a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I am excited, so excited about this show. So excited. Today, we're talking about one of the most important skills you can ever develop, the ability to ask for what you want. The secret to getting what you really want, and that is the ability to know how to ask for it, whether it's a raise, whether it's a contract, whether it's somebody to be your life partner. How do you learn how to ask and get more for what you really want? My guest is the expert and the author of the book, Linda Swindling, the author of the book, Ask Outrageously, the secret to getting what you really want. This is one you're going to want to take notes on because she's going to change your life. Well, you have only just a minute. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon us. We can't refuse it. We did not seek it. We did not choose it, but it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it, give account if we abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with you, each and every one of you, wherever you are around the globe. I am grateful for you being here, taking time out of your schedule, whether you're listening on the radio network, whether you're listening on the podcast or one of the replays or on the video cast. Whatever way you're getting this, I'm grateful you took time out. And I hope you will benefit and get great dividends from this investment of time. So I'm grateful for you. And then, I'm grateful for my sponsor. I'm grateful for Truist Bank. Truist has been such a tremendous partner. 2 banks came together, BB&T and SunTrust, to develop a new bank. And they built this new bank on one concept: care. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. And that's what they've done. And then, I take a moment at the beginning of every show to give God some glory, to give him some praise, to thank him for life and strength and health. I know everybody who's listening doesn't believe like I believe. They don't think like I think. And I love you whether you do or don't. I am not trying to convert or convince you. I'm just trying to make sure I give glory and give thanks to the one who has made it possible for me to be on this network for going on. This is my 20th season, to have the number one self-help show in the country, one of the top 5 downloaded podcasts in the world, having best-selling books and speaking in the Speaker Hall of Fame and name one of the top 5 speakers, all of that, because I am blessed and I take time to give God glory and thank him for life and strength and health and for the blessings. And I say it every week. God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with your life. So do something strategic, something extraordinary, something incredible with this life you've been blessed with. It makes a difference. Well, as I told you, my guest today is a lady who has made big things happen in her life and in her career. She is an expert, one of the greatest experts in negotiations on the planet. She's a certified speaking professional, a CSP, and she is a CPAE, which is the Speaker Hall of Fame. She is a member of the Speaker Hall of Fame. She's a board certified coach. She also now is a college or university professor. She's an attorney. She got all of these skills. She shows people how to communicate powerfully so others will listen. And she's the president of her own company. And she's one of the great negotiation experts on the planet, and is helping major companies and CEOs as well as business people to negotiate better deals. So I'm honored to have my friend. We've been friends for over 30 years now, about 30 years now. And I've just always been wowed by her intellect. So my honor to welcome to my show, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show, Linda Swindling. Welcome, Linda.
Thanks.
I gave him a thumbnail sketch because I always like to get a little more intel as to where you came from, how you got to be who you are, where you are now, please.
Sure. Well, I started off as a theater arts and dance person.
Wow.
And, it was on a dance company and tapping, and went to New York and went, wow, this is a hard way to make a living, and came back and went to college and eventually went over to broadcast journalism, and then went to law school.
Wow.
So my background, and I'd always done selling and everything else. So the law school experience is kind of the thing that took me out of the regular trajectory, maybe. And I practiced for 10 years, and I practiced in employment law. And Willie, I got a little sick to my stomach. And the reason why was, I think lawyers are incredible people, and I think they work as hard as nearly anybody. And I think if you tell them this is what I want, they will try to get it for you. Definitely.
Yes.
And they're held to ethical standards. That said, I didn't like the process of how people were settling their disputes. And I became a mediator thinking, okay, I'm going to keep people from the courthouse. I don't like what it's doing to my clients. Don't like what it's doing to the people around me. Wow, that's too late. If you mediate right before a lawsuit, as a lot of mediators do, now some do it at work, not many, but if you mediate right before a lawsuit, you've already spent like 3/4 to 4/5 of the money you're going to spend. And a lot of those cases settle, but they don't settle until the courthouse steps. And that just seems like an opportunity lost. I would go into different rooms, sometimes 2, sometimes 5 different parties. And so many times they would say virtually the same thing in different words. Or it could have been an apology, or there was a misunderstanding. And I worked with a business coach and was telling her all this. And she's like, I don't understand. You're a partner now at a very young age. You have time to spend with your family and your friends. You have better, new friends that are really caring. And what's going on? And she started asking me, what is it that you really love about law? And as we were going through, the big things were, well, I love it when I get to talk to the leaders and the managers and help them communicate better and think through this and, resolve their own disputes and negotiate. And that is when she said, well, you could just do that.
Wow. Wow. You could focus on just the part you really, really liked.
And then I was good at it, right? And I said, well, do I have to keep writing the handbooks? And she said, no, you could write books, but they don't have to be company handbooks anymore. I said, you're kidding. And I said, so is this it's like teaching, which I come from a family of teachers, and it's ironic now that I'm a professor, but that's something else, right? And she said, no, you could just talk, train, give speeches on, staying out of disputes, or how do you negotiate, or how do you lead better? And I'd never heard of it. The only speakers I'd heard of were people like you or people like Zig Ziglar. I'd never heard of somebody, training, or somebody getting on stage, on a big stage, and saying, let me give you some things that'll help you be a better leader.
Wow.
Never heard of it. She sent
me. Once you discovered it, you were off and running. And now she's in the Speaker Hall of Fame, one of the top in the world. Okay. So you've written this incredible new book that is outside of your negotiation. And we're going to talk a little bit about negotiation, but how to get what you want. But that's part of the negotiation anyway, is how to ask for what you want. The secret to getting what you really want is to ask outrageously. What made you write this book? I was chosen to do a TEDx talk. And when we were thinking about what would I talk about, it was the person who was working with me said, what have you not talked about on a big scale that really works? And so this was a technique that I was teaching my clients after I got really fed up with some. I had some people say, this won't work. And so I said, here's $20. And we gave 5 groups $20. And I said, there's a mall, there's all these places. Come back in an hour and show me what you were able to get with your $20. One group came back. They had the receipt from the bar. They went down and drank. One group came back and they put money with it and bought me a Clinique makeup case, because I used to sell makeup. One came back and had a buy one, get one free dinner that they had bought for $20. The rest came back with over $100. 2 groups came back with over $100. How? Because they were asking. They were asking for everything they could get. Wow. And it showed me. These are supposed to be the best of the best, these sales leaders I was talking to. And then later I said, how are the individuals in these 2 groups doing? And sure enough, they were doing the best of the best out of all of them. Wow. Well, one of the things you talked about in the book was an experience that you had on Jay Leno. Oh, yeah. That gave you a new perspective about asking. Please share that story. Yeah, we were at one of our winter workshop conventions, like you and I are in National Speaker Association, and a group of us went to the Tonight Show. Jay Leno came out, asked if anybody had any questions. My hand shot up. He said, yes, you. And instead of asking for what I really wanted, I played it safe. And I said, Jay, what's hard about your job? And he said, I get paid lots of money, meet famous people, drive fancy cars. And before I could slide in for my second ask, which was what I really wanted, he turned, Willie, and he looked at somebody else. And he said, yes, ma'am. How can I help you? And I sat down and I went, oh, no, I didn't get what I wanted. She stood up and asked for what I wanted. And she said, Jay, can I have a picture with you? And he said, sure, come on down. And as she's going, and coming down, he looks back over at me and he sees my face and he says, that's what she really wanted, isn't it? And I started to stand up and he said, she asked. And everybody laughed, which is what he should be doing. He should be making people laugh, right? Right. But, and my friends were thrilled that I had asked a question, talk to Jay Leno. But that's not what I really wanted. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that was a hard lesson learned. We had a group picture later, but that I didn't ask for what I really wanted. Wow. What a great story about asking for what you want and being direct and not fooling around and asking, and don't waste people's time and fluff. Ask for what you want and be very clear. I thought that was such a great way to start this book. And then you tell another story about I think it was your daughter when she was a little girl,
Oh,
and
yeah, Taylor.
and getting her face painted, and she wanted you and your husband to go over and ask with the face
Yeah.
painted, but a butterfly on her face. And your husband said, no, you go ask.
Here's your
Tell
ticket. We'll be
it
here. You'll be
right,
fine.
but ask for what you want. That was profound. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. She's going to give you strategies and techniques and principles on how to ask to get what you really want. You're going to want to take notes, because this is going to be life-changing and can help you with your faith, your focus, your finances, and your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent.
You can call on me
when you need me.
Call me. You can call on me.
Call me.
You can call on me.
Pick up the phone.
You can call
and call me.
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast comes from Truist Bank. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. When you become a homeowner, your future starts to feel different. That's power, knowing you could be creating generational wealth to pass down. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Truist has programs that could help you buy a home with a lower down payment than you might expect. And their professional guidance helps you build belief that home ownership is within reach. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about options that are available to you. They will listen to your goals and follow through. Reach them by calling 855-562-1579. Do this for your family and your legacy. That number is 855-562-1579, or visit truist.com/homebuyer. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Certain programs and geographic restrictions may apply. Contact a loan officer for details. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast around the country, around the world. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to encourage everybody to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, to get access to my websites. I put S on that sites because we have a faith-based site, we have a business site, we have a motivation site for young people, we have a site for people who want to get into speaking business, we have a site for music, we have a site for all sorts of goodies that will be available to you. There are a lot of things at winwithwillie.com. And then we also, when you go there, you will get some sort of notification about my new book, which is not officially out. It's not on Amazon yet. It's not in bookstores yet, but it is available to people who in my inner circle, my IQ, as I like to call them, who are smart and want to take advantage of this moment, that they can get a first edition copy, a first printing copy of the book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. All these great interviews I've interviewed, these great people who talk about wealth and about how they created wealth and the lessons I learned, how you can do the same wherever you are in your life. This is a transformational book, and I am grateful for all the people who are taking advantage of half the first small. We did a limited first printing. Half of those are gone. So get yours, and right now I will sign it. It'll be worth more in a year than it is that you paid for it. I'm pretty sure of that, because this book is taking off like nobody's business. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Well, my special guest today is Linda Swindling, a world-renowned negotiations expert, leadership expert, lawyer, and now a college professor. She teaches at the University of Texas, Dallas, I believe it is.
Correct.
And she is in demand. She's in the Speaker Hall of Fame, and she is dynamite. And so we're grateful to have her with us. And Linda, I want to ask you about asking for people to ask so they can improve their finances. Tell us some of the things, some of the things that people should be thinking or doing or whatever.
That's such a great topic. So I married a financial planner. Can you imagine?
That's
a
good.
Financial planner. He was a banker at the time named Swindling, an attorney named Swindling. Isn't that crazy? Crazy last name. Cute boy, crazy last name. You know, there's a lot of things that are available to you that'll improve your bottom line. One is I want you to look at your credit cards, and you know how they keep sending you all these new deals? Call your existing credit card company and negotiate and see if you can't get that interest down. If you miss a payment, some of you have been paying steadily for 10 years and you miss a payment, your dad gets sick, something happens, whatever it is, call the credit card company up and say, hey, I missed a payment. I haven't missed for 5 years. Can you wipe off those charges? Guess what they do? They wipe off those charges.
Wow.
I just got a phone. I called customer service, which gave me the same old deal that everybody else was getting. So then I called customer loyalty. They could give me another deal that was worth $500 more.
Wow.
Start looking at how you're paying your bills. Some of us get our paycheck after the bill comes. Ask and extend that bill so that it hits when it works for you. Ask your creditor, what can I do? We don't even ask to renegotiate our loans when interest rates go down. We don't ask, I've been in a tenant for 2 years, paid rent steadily. What can we do to work with my rent so it stays the same? Call up and ask people to help you. Get some comparisons, figure out what other people are doing. And when you really get in tough times, and I know this is when a lot of us, really would experience some tough financial times. Maybe it's medical bills. Call the hospital and say, I know we owe this much. What can I do on a weekly or a monthly payment basis? My friends, they will come down a low amount as long as you're a steady Eddie and you keep paying.
Wow.
And if you really get in bad trouble, go talk to an attorney, see about bankruptcy, of course. But I used to keep people from bankruptcy a gazillion years ago by calling all the creditors and saying, look, we can borrow a small amount of money from this person's family or whatever. Do you want to be at the front of the list or at the bottom of the list? Because if you're at the front, we'll get you a certain amount as long as you help us with the credit score. And you know this, Willie, it's once things start happening, it snowballs.
Right.
You miss one payment, they miss another, you need whatever. Part of it's just being aware that people can help you.
Right.
There are opportunities. And it seems like it's terrible, but you're just working your way through it.
Wow. That's great advice. Great.
And ask for a raise.
Huh?
Ask for a raise.
Ask for a raise. Now let's talk about how do you ask for a raise? Because you talk about it in the book, how to ask for promotion, how to ask for a raise, how to ask for being able to work from home. When you told you got to come in, how do you do it?
Okay. 65% of us, these are the statistics that we found, won't ask for ourselves. That's crazy. We prefer to ask for other people.
Wow.
So here's what you do. Who besides yourself would benefit from getting that raise? Benefit from getting more vacation time? Benefit from you getting the promotion? Well, those people that could then be promoted after you, right?
Right.
So that's the mindset. Now, then when you go and talk to them, you don't say, well, I've been here 5 years and a very good loyal employee and I want no, you accepted that deal every single month when you signed the back of your check or when it was deposited. That was the deal. They paid you fairly. They paid you for what you said you wanted.
Right.
And what is it that you could help do in the future, building on your past experience? So how you use your past is just like I've done in the past with this project, that thing, whatever it is. I'm going to do it in the future.
Mm.
And these are the things I'm looking at. Now then, all of a sudden, your boss can go talk to your boss's boss, right? And even up to the board and say, yeah, we want to keep this very valuable employee. And this is what they're going to be doing for us. He, she, them are going to be doing for us in the future, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, now you've got a case and you've helped your boss out and make the case for you. But do not wait. Do not wait. Oh, maybe they'll see me. Maybe they'll, because what we're telling them that really, really want what you ask for, by not asking, we're telling them we're fine with the deal as is. You're
Wow.
fine.
Wow.
Yeah. I had an accountant sit in my class and say, yep, I was just waiting for my bookkeeper to ask. So she had been waiting for her to ask for a year and a half for a raise because why would I give it to her if she didn't ask?
If you don't GET, you don't ASK. That's an old saying in the sales industry that I learned. If you don't GET, if you don't ASK, I'm sorry. If you don't ASK, you don't GET. If you don't ask, you don't get. And most people, look, scripture even tell you, ask and it shall be received, it'll be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For, and that means that most people ask not, and that's why they receive not. And so I want you to start learning how to ask. Well, I want to ask you, what do you do? How do you define ask outrageously? How do you define it?
So ask outrageously means outside your comfort zone. I'm telling you right now, my friends, it's not outside their comfort zone. Whoever's listening to it has heard an ask bigger than yours. So it's for many of us. It is really, we were taught to be humble.
Right.
We were taught, the meek shall inherit the earth. Yeah. And just what you just read about ask, seek, knock, you still have to ask.
Right.
So you start practicing everywhere.
I like that in the book you wrote. Practice asking everywhere for everything. Ask.
It doesn't make perfect. It just makes you calm about doing it.
It makes you more comfortable with asking. If you ask for, hey, can I get a little bit more coffee with my morning coffee with, can I get an extra donut with my order? I mean, if you don't ask, all I can say is no.
One of my students had never asked for extra condiments, extra ketchup, my friends, had never asked. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So yeah, and use the expired coupon. Say, I know this is expired. Could I use it? Or I know this is early. Could I use it? Or, hey, I'm buying 5 of these. Is there a discount for that? Ask.
Now part of that, Linda, is some years ago we had one of our NSA members on, Michael, I can't remember Michael's last name, Asian gentleman from Phoenix.
Yes.
And he said part of the reason people don't ask or negotiate is because of culture, that Americans typically only ask for a deal with a home or a car.
Right.
That's all they're willing to, negotiate. Where people from other countries, Jamaica, Caribbean, they negotiate everything, and it's part of the culture. When I went to Nigeria, everybody negotiates everything. Isn't that true?
It is. And it could be even here, right? It could be your religion. It could be your schooling. It could be you're a woman instead of a man, and you weren't taught to ask. And culture plays such an important part of it, because some cultures are even more reserved,
right,
than Americans. Some cultures are much more forward with asking, and in fact, they think that if you don't push back and ask a little bit, that you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So yes, learn the culture and then adopt what works. Right.
Right.
I see that all the time in class and in my big training sessions, and I'll have people come up to me and say, I never even thought about asking for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, one thing that helps, or at least helps me, Willie, is everything is a negotiation.
Everything. Say that again. Say that again.
Everything is a negotiation. And what I love about that is I tell you what I want, you tell me what you want, and we're trying to see if there's something there that we could agree on. Now, here's a couple of tricks around that. Not everything is negotiable.
Right.
Our values aren't negotiable. Our ethics aren't negotiable, hopefully, unless somebody really makes a good argument. I'm not going to change what I believe value-wise or ethically. And listen to this definition from Oxford, because you and I are going to follow the Oxford definition. Negotiation is a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. It's a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. You may never make it. That's okay.
Wow.
We're just
Wow.
talking.
I love that. We're going to take a quick break for station identification. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and thought to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. My special guest is Linda Swindling, CSP, CPAE, which means Certified Speaking Professional, and Council of Peers Award of Excellence, which is the Speaker Hall of Fame, and one of the leading experts in negotiations around the world. She has a best-selling book called Ask Outrageously, The Secret to Getting What You Really Want. We're going to come right back in a moment to get more from her about how you can learn to be a better negotiator and how you can be better in all your efforts. But I want to take a moment to call your attention to my sponsor, Truist Bank. And I'm grateful for their sponsorship of the Wealthy Ways Show. If you're a longtime listener, you know I believe that mindset is the key to success, and so does Truist. That's why they created their incredible resource, Money and Mindset. It's full of tips to help you with your finances and your well-being. You can get articles, quizzes, calculators, and hey, even some more podcasts, of which I'm on a couple of them to help people with their mindset, with the Money and Mindset podcast. I've been interviewed all for free and for anyone to use. So check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Anybody can access it, whether you're a Truist customer or not, anybody. And you got to understand, Truist is a leader in banking, and they are unwavering in care. I'm grateful. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. My special guest is Linda Swindling. Oh my gosh. She's a lawyer. She's a college professor. She's a best-selling author. She's a Hall of Fame speaker. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a leadership expert as well. And she does this for people all over the world. Linda, before we go any further, where can they get this book, Ask Outrageously? My wife, by the way, loves this book. She has read it and marked it up because you sent me a couple copies, and she got one before I could even touch it. She got one and went through it. She said, this is a good book. Ask Outrageously, The Secret to Getting What You Really Want. Where can people get the book?
We can get it on Amazon. You can get it on most of the bookstores, and you can hear audio if you prefer. And I love Misty. Oh my goodness, we go way back. But yeah, you can do that, or you can go to my website. It's on lindaswindling.com. And I have a page right there that talks about resources. And I would love for you to come. or you can type in
Spell swindling for people.
Yeah. Linda. And then here it goes. SWINDLING.com, lindaswindling.com. So it is, gosh, a hard name, right? Swindling attorney, former attorney, recovering attorney.
Swindling. Yeah, that's funny. Also, you are still speaking, even though you're a college professor now. You do have some time for speaking. She got a packed schedule, folks. When we were trying to coordinate when we could get on, I mean, she had. Well, let's see. I can maybe fit you in here. I got this. I got that. I got this. And she's active in a church, so she's got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. Let's talk more about why people don't ask. And part of that is a fear of rejection.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And it's 4 things we really found. Willie.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. One is they may not know the right words. And a lot of us are like, and what if I say something? They might bug or bother someone. That is one of them that they put. One is, I might embarrass myself, which I think all of us feel that. And then the fear of rejection, I might hear the word, what?
No.
Would it help if I bulletproofed you against hearing the word no? Would that be of help?
That would be helpful.
Okay. So those of you who are driving, you do this with your eyes open. The rest of us close our eyes. Listen to my words. No, you cannot have that. No, what a crazy request. No, no, no. Okay, open your eyes. Pat yourself on the back. Did you survive?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't die.
You didn't die. The fact is, if you're not hearing no, you're not asking for enough.
Wow.
No,
Stop. Say that again.
Yeah. If you're not hearing no, you're not asking for enough. And it goes further than that.
Okay.
If you're not hearing no, you will never KNOW. You will never know if it was possible.
Wow. If you never hear the word NO, you'll never KNOW. You'll never know what's possible and what's not possible because you didn't ask. And you didn't die when you got to know.
Yeah, and I'm getting the answer. You want the answer for when they say no? Would that be helpful? Here's the question. When in doubt, you always go to a question. You always ask a what or a how question.
Okay. I'll say that again. When in doubt, always ask for a what or a how question. Okay, go ahead from there.
So we're going to politely, because 1/3 of people will turn you down if you're not polite or considerate. I would.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to politely say, I heard you say no. Can you tell me about that? Or what led you to that?
Wow.
And guess what happens, Willie? One of a couple of things. One is, some of us know, and it may be us, you start talking and go, well, let's see, I gave that to D and I gave it to, maybe I could do it. So you talk yourself into it, the answer, right? One is you find out they don't know. So you hear something and you go, oh, wait a second, I do have that certification. I actually have a certification above that, or I actually could do that service, or I actually do know how to do whatever that is. Or you get to know something. So they say, we don't, no, not now. We don't take proposals like that until November. And like, we're going to be in November in a day or two. I can wait until next year. I've got a calendar. So all of a sudden, instead of getting freezing, which is what we do, I should not have asked. Instead of freezing, when you hear the word no, I heard you say no, polite. Can you tell me about it? What led you to that? Whatever that question is. And then listen. And then say, can you tell me more? What else? And just listen. And usually you'll find out you were talking to the wrong person, or they hadn't really thought about what you were asking.
Right. Wow. This is helping me because sometimes I have to, I'm good at hearing no, but I like this. Well, tell me more. Why did you say that?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Don't say why. Don't say why.
Oh, don't say why.
Ready? This is an upgrade. Most people say go 5 whys or something. Here's your upgrade.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that out. Okay.
What are the good reasons you told me no?
What or how, not why.
What are the good reasons? Because the why is kind of that parental. Well, why? Because
Okay,
why?
okay.
What are the
And
good
why
reasons?
says, because I said so. Okay, I got that. But what and how? And you could train yourself. See how I immediately said why when I should have said, well, what are the reasons for that? Or how could this be a win-win for you and me?
Right.
Okay, so not why, but what and how. See, folks, even I am learning, taking notes, learning from this great. See how she helped me and corrected me, and that's what we do. And we don't. And look, that's how you grow. Be willing to grow. Be willing to learn. Be willing to. I like one of the things you said in the book. You had to learn to ask the stupid question and not be embarrassed in law school, so you could get the answer you needed to pass the bar.
Had to. I didn't know if I was going to pass the class. And you know what? They came by, and some of you may have had this. People would come up to me and ask me, what classes are you taking next year? So that I would ask the dumb questions. But it works in a company meeting, doesn't it?
Yep.
Haven't you
Yep.
asked a question and then everybody else feels comfortable asking?
Yep. In my book, An Attitude of Excellence, I became friends with Alan Mullally, who was the CEO, turned around Ford Motor Company when they wanted to bring a bankruptcy. And one of the things Alan talked about was how he would have the corporate meeting with the all his direct reports, the senior VPs, and they weren't willing to ask or be open about what was really going on. When he'd ask how's the thing, they oh, everything's great. And then one day one of them said, I'm struggling. And he said it broke the barrier that made everybody else realize it's okay. And we all helped him fix that problem. And then others said, well, I got a problem too. After trying to be proud and not have any need for help, once he said, I need help, then it helped everybody else. One more thing about saying no. There was a book. I interviewed these folks years and years ago. I've been on for 20 years now, but it's probably been 15 years ago or so. A lady and a gentleman wrote a book, said, go for no. I'll never forget the book. Go for no. They knew that statistically, if you want something and you ask X amount of times, it's like you get your yes comes after 17 no's, something like that.
Wow.
And it was a statistical analysis. And my friend Dennis Kimbrough says success is a statistical model, that if you work hard enough and you keep trying hard enough, eventually you will achieve. But the problem is most people don't ask enough, they don't work hard enough, or they don't get rejected enough to ever get to the yes. Ooh, is this good stuff, folks? Is this good? I'm telling you, Linda is throwing it down. You talked about, and I got about 2 minutes in this segment, you talk about preparing before you ask. What are some key elements of how you prepare to ask, prep, as you want to call it?
Yeah. Know what you want to ask for.
Oh,
Right.
stop. Know what you want. Know what you want.
Put a title on it that isn't you and me. Put a separate title on it. So if you say no to the proposal, you're not saying no to me. So it's my ask for promotion in September, right? Or whatever.
Right.
Figure out what my good reasons are, because that's going to keep me motivated. And then say, okay, how much am I willing to invest in this? How much am I willing to invest? And figure out what can detour you. What's the detour? What can get you off track? What are you going to do about it? And then the last one, what are all the different options I could ask for? What would I like the best? What do I, if the deal doesn't make, I can't, those are my essentials. And then what could I do if this deal doesn't work? What else is there? If you can live with those and then twist it and think about the other side and think about, I wonder what they want. And if you don't know, what do you do? Yeah.
In the book you talk about, and I had to jump on here. We know that there's what's in it for me, WIIFM. But you said what's in it for them.
We never think, we'll get prepared for us, but we never turn it to what's in it for them. So go try to think that you are that person, or find somebody who can play that person for you, especially if it's a different personality style or something, and practice on them.
One more thing that I loved is, as I was reading the book, there's a song called If I Were Brave by Jana Stanfield.
Wow,
I've had Jana on this show
she's
some
great.
years ago. And that song is something I would listen to. It's on my playlist and I have it in my computer and on my phone. What would I do if I were brave? You give that away at your website, I believe. Is that correct?
She gave me permission to give
Yes.
it away because I asked.
Asked. Folks, we're going to take another break. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Motivated, highly motivated, motivated, gonna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated, motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said I, gonna take it to the top. I said I, oh yeah, said I'm never gonna stop. My friend said I was crazy.
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, here to thank Truist Bank for their sponsorship of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. Now, if you're a longtime Wealthy Ways listener, you know I believe that mindset is the key to success, and so does Truist. That's why they've created their incredible resource, Money and Mindset. It's full of tips to help you with your finances and help you with your well-being. You can get articles, quizzes, calculators, and hey, even more podcast information that will bless you, all for free and for anyone to use. Check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care, and Truist Bank is a member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. I told y'all this was going to be good. Look at all of this great information you're getting. Linda Swindling, SWINDLING, Linda Swindling. You can get her at lindaswindling.com. She's the author of this incredible book, Ask Outrageously: The Secret to Getting What You Really Want. And she's got a gift. She's got a gift. I always ask my guests to give my listeners a gift, and she did. She and her team, and they put together a gift. Please tell them what you got for them.
I'm going to give you what I give my corporate and government clients. So you've got my website in front of it. I want you to put ask.lindaswindling. So that HTTPS ask.lindaswindling.com. It's going to give you the Ask Challenge, to be a smart ask, to go out there and ask for what you really want. And in exchange, I will give you the tools that we're talking about how what do you ask and what's my deal style and some of these really things that will help you upgrade. So I'm thank you for asking, Willie, because I don't always give that out. And
well, I want good for my folks, and I'm always asking for some deal, some kind of something special for them, and I'm grateful that you have been willing to do that. One of the things that both of us are people of faith, and you're talking about asking boldly. From a faith perspective, the Bible says, asking shall be given to you. How did your book connect with spiritual principles?
Well, and it's involved in many spiritual principles. So if you look through many books, and I read the Bible, but there's many in the Quran and everything, it says to ask questions.
Right.
The one twist I did is on ASK, on the K.
Mm-hmm.
I do want you to be aware of what's up there. I do want you to seek questions. On the K, I want you to know, but I don't want you to know it all. I want you to know your next step. That's all you have to do. That'll leave you agile, and that will, it prevents us because we don't see the whole path.
Right.
Well, if you're spiritual, if you believe in God, you know that you're not going to know the whole path because there's a better plan for you than you could ever dream of.
Amen. Amen. And I folks, I talk about that in my book, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. If I had known what God had planned for me when I was singing in nightclubs, or if I'd known how he would turn my getting fired from my nightclub and being replaced by a karaoke machine would open up my life, I would have never dreamed it. Or if I had known that there would be some struggle in there, I might not have taken that step. But God had something planned. I believe that all things work together for good for them that love the Lord and are the called according to his purpose. And once I figured that out, I said, this is working good for me. This is good. I mean, my wife is happy. We travel around the world. We're making money. We got books. We got home. We had a beach house. I mean, all of the above, because I was willing to trust. So that's part of this. You emphasize mindset in your book. How does attitude or self-talk influence the outcome of a request or a negotiation?
Totally changes everything. Why not you? Why not? Why not?
Why not you? Come on, somebody. Why not you?
If someone's listening to you that can make a decision, they're giving you the most valuable thing they have. It's not money. It's not resources. It's their time. And you have something they want, and maybe just to get back to someone else.
Right.
But you have something. Why not you?
Wow. Okay, Linda, one of the things I do with every guest is when they're on, I ask them a question. If you were coming to town to speak, and after your speech, Dee and I took you to lunch, and then we took you to a university. We got 6 or 7 here in DC, Howard, AU, GW, Georgetown, Trinity, Catholic. So let's say we went into a business class of young, aspiring, wannabe business folks. And you had the opportunity to speak to them. Tell them, a couple, if you're going to be successful in business and in life, here's some you gotta. Here's some things you gotta do.
Don't play small. Make sure you ask. Ask for what you really want, because if you're not asking for what you really want, they see that you're holding back. And they can't.
Like Jay Leno saw it with you. Like Jay Leno saw. Yeah.
And there's a rest of the story on that one. The other thing is, you all provide value. One thing I teach all my young people is that search feature on LinkedIn brings up a QR code. I say, worst case scenario, you can show them how to find a QR code on their LinkedIn. You can always provide value. You're always looking for, how do I provide value to somebody? And if they're talking to you, you have something of value they want, even if it's to help you out, like someone helped them out.
Wow. Ooh, this is good. Okay, so now people can get a better life. One of the things people are afraid to do is ask. Is the old saying, the little quiet nerdy guy asked the beauty queen at high school to take her to the prom because no one else was willing to ask her. They were afraid. And he said, what I got to lose? And he asked and ended up taking her to prom and marrying her. So, my story, I asked my wife to marry me and she said no. And I mean, she said no for a long time, but I just kept asking. She said, no, I'm not doing that. And I said, please. So look, 40 years later, I'm glad I learned to ask and was willing to ask. And I am glad that I was able to get the answer eventually. One of the things is you don't get what you deserve sometimes. You get what you ask for.
That's true.
Isn't that true?
You know the end of the story to the Jay Leno thing.
Oh, no, please tell the rest.
Yeah, we asked, we call it his 3 offices when we found out he was coming for a one-man comedic show here. And we called his 3 offices several times. We posted media. And finally, the person who was working with me gets a phone call. And the person on the phone, Helga, says, is Linda Swindling a stalker? So don't be obnoxious. Don't ask obnoxiously. And Zan, who was working with me, said, no, she didn't ask. And the woman, Helga, says, no, we know the story. We've heard it. I tell you what, if she's not a stalker, if she's safe, she can come back to the green room, meet Jay, get her photo, and bring a few friends.
Wow.
So the rest of the story is sometimes you don't ask outrageously then, but you get some more chances later.
Wow.
And so just keep trying to ask, keep trying to looking for those possibilities, keep seeking that goodness.
Wow. That's a great rest of the story. Well, closing couple minutes, just tell folks negotiations, how they can negotiate better. You've told them about finance, just in life, some of the tips you tell your big time clients.
Know that you need to be helping other people, give value to other people. If you see someone do something good in the grocery store, ask to speak to the manager, watch all the faces go, wow, and say, I just want to tell you this person did a great job. Get out there and in negotiating, think about how we maybe, instead of win-win, what's a third win? Could we benefit a nonprofit? Could we bring in another vendor? Could we help support somebody? Could we grow? Because then once you get that third or fourth party involved, then your deal becomes more durable. What you're looking for is just what you teach, Willie. It's that trust, it's building relationships. You want to have the relationship, the trust, that your word's your bond,
right.
That when somebody or something goes wrong and you're not there, they say, yeah, but we gave our word to Willie, and he's always been good to us.
Right.
And that's the secret. The true secret is, it's still, even with AI, even with all these things going on, the more complex deals are always going to need us involved. And it always comes down to relationships. Who do you trust? Who do you believe? Who's going to help support you?
Yes.
And who do you really want to be in business with? Or in life with, right? If you can't trust them when you're dating them, don't marry them. And ask them, say, if you are in a long-term relationship like you and I are, ask them, ask your kids, hey, what could I do to be a better mom, a better spouse, a better friend? What could I do? And listen. And try your darndest to give it to them, because those people, they're your lifeblood. They're who you're going to help negotiate your life with. And my friends, the word go is in negotiation. Go negotiate. You can do this.
Wow. I want to thank Linda Swindling. Ask.lindaswindling.com to get your goodie. Go to lindaswindling.com to get access to her, to get her to come speak for your organization, to do some consulting with your team. And then go to Amazon or lindaswindling.com to get Ask Outrageously, the secret to getting what you really want. You will be empowered and inspired, as I have been, and my wife has been. Dee loves this book. And so, Linda Swindling, I want to thank you for being my guest. You are awesome. Kiss your husband and your children. And I will see you at the National Speakers Association convention sometime in the near future, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I want to thank everybody who has listened. I want to thank Truist Bank for being my great sponsor, who has just been so supportive. Go to truist.com for information about how you can be part of the Truist community. And then I want to thank every one of you who has gone and told your friends and family members about the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast, who make it part of your weekly routine. All of those who say, I gotta hear his message weekly. And those who join us for our marriage show on Monday nights at 9:00 Eastern on A Jolly Marriage on Facebook. A Jolly Marriage, we're trying to get our Instagram numbers up on A Jolly Marriage on Instagram. So please follow me on A Jolly Marriage on Instagram, Willie Jolley LinkedIn Live, and The Real Willie Jolley on LinkedIn. And you can watch the replays on the Jolly Marriage Show on YouTube. And last but not least, everybody, please take full advantage of the opportunity to get this first edition printing of the book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. It will change your life. It will change your family. It will change your future. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Thank you for your time. Have a great week on purpose. And remember, for sure, your best is still yet to come. Have a great day. God bless you.
And every stand up and fight. Hey, people, listen closely to the sound of my voice.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.